All right, so we're going to go through two super easy methods to build long form content, valuable content in under 30 minutes. So, method one, speak it. Humans speak at 120 to 150 words per minute, but the average typing speed is 60 words per minute. So, it makes total sense to speak it. But text to speech programs are absolute garbage. I invested in Dragon Naturally Speaking. It was like a $300 program. It's absolute shit. Honestly, it just doesn't work at all. So the alternative to that is to transcribe. Transcription is really, really cheap, and it works really, really well. So I use a service called rev.com, and it costs $1 a minute. Almost entirely, their turnaround time is in less than 12 hours, but they quote within 24 hours, which is awesome. There's tons of other methods out there. You can do Fiverr, you can hire someone directly on like reddit.com or something like that. And in those cases, maybe you'll pay as low as like 25 or 50 cents a minute, depending on how you want to do it. I do rev.com, and then I do the formatting myself, which I'll run through in a second. But the alternative there is, you go to Reddit for hire, search for a transcriber and say, hey, I want someone who's going to transcribe and then format my content based on the process that I have. And I'll walk you through that process in just a second. But that way you're going to get something that's a lot more ready to go, and you'll probably shave off about another 5 minutes from this process. So diving in deep, here's the steps. Spend 5 minutes outlining your headlines and subheadlines for your article. Very basic. If it's something around like, what is content marketing? Maybe you're going to go into, okay, so here's the definition of content marketing. Here's why you should use content marketing. Here's some examples of content marketing campaigns, tools that you can use, trends, and things like that. And you just want to outline that into headlines and subheadlines. Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. Block out 15 minutes and just speak about the topic using the outline that you have. So if you've outlined it well enough in those subheadlines and everything, you'll be able to speak about it very clearly. You'll be able to speak about it concisely enough that the transcription is almost ready to go right off the bat. And what I mean by that is use subheadlines every 300 to 500 words and use headlines every 1,000 or so words. That's going to allow you to break it down much more easily and talk about it a lot clearer. Transcribe the audio, and you should have about 1,800 to 2,250 words, depending on just how fast you speak. I typically speak on the higher end of that, so about 140 to 150 words a minute on average. So I end up with about a 2,000 word content piece after this, and then I just spend 5 to 10 minutes formatting it. I actually outsource this part. You can do that on Fiverr as well, but you can spend 5-10 minutes and format it entirely exactly how you want, and then your article's done. So 5 minutes to outline, 15 minutes to speak, 30 seconds to submit it for transcription, 5 to 10 minutes for formatting, and you have an article in 25 to 30 minutes. Nice and easy. Method 2, use influencers. So people love giving an opinion, especially if they can get some authority from it. And there's a lot of companies out there like Help a Reporter Out, Haro, Journal Requests, and a bunch of those other PR related marketplaces where they're entirely built on people's need to get authority, build backlinks, get PR, that type of thing. But basically what you want to do is leverage that to build an article where all you have to do is write the introduction and the conclusion. Everything else in between will be written by somebody else for you. So steps for that: post on Haro or Journal Request or whatever. I prefer Help a Reporter Out. It's much easier. And you basically want to post the request and say, hey, I'm looking for tips on this, or I'm looking for quotes around this, or I'm looking for strategy around this. You can also alternatively reach out to specific people if you have specific people in mind, like maybe you're in the marketing realm and you want to reach out to key influencers like Neil Patel and Sujan Patel and all those guys. You can do that if you want. You're going to get better results in terms of quality and length of content using Haro or something like that to go out to people who will actually spend the time writing up those requests. And basically what you can do is send out the request, wait a few days. The unique content is going to roll in. You just have to pull the content together, format it, and write an introduction and conclusion, and the article's done. And actually around the formatting side of things, you can request specific formatting with Haro, and you can actually be really picky and choosy and just only pick out the ones that formatted it the way you want it, and you can still make it work for you. So an example for this is an article I just finished pulling together. So I did a request on Haro for restaurant marketing tips. And I said, hey, you have to be a restaurant owner or you have to be a marketing firm dealing in restaurants. I want at least one tip from the person who's submitting. Needs to be in the format of headline and body text. And I want you to include your name and company name and Twitter profile for linking back. I got 25 submissions in less than 7 days. And all the submissions compiled added up to 3,500 words. And my intro and outro is 100 words that took me no time to write. So 3,500 words of unique content ready to go as an article in absolutely no time. So the math for that, 5 minutes to post it on Haro. It actually took a lot less than that. It's 5 minutes if you're going to schedule emails and everything. 15 minutes to pull together content. 5 minutes for writing the intro and conclusion. In that case, it's a bit hard to write the intro and conclusion when you're not writing all the rest of the content, but 5 minutes is quite generous. So in 25 minutes, you end up with one long form article. So for me, it was within 25 minutes, I ended up with a 3,500 word article ready to post. So that's the two methods. Super quick, super easy. Enjoy.